It's my favorite part of the day, opening a new file. Shall we get into it? Jared Kushner is not famous for anything he built. He is not famous for anything he invented. He is not famous for a song or a movie or a company you've heard of. He is famous for being in the room, every deal, every negotiation, every crisis. He's always just there, quiet, watching, nodding, and somehow leaving richer than when he walked in. But you know that takes skills, too. Just ask Tom. Born 1981, Livingston, New Jersey. His father, Charles Kushner, is a real estate billionaire. His grandparents were Holocaust survivors who came to America with nothing and built something real. That's the foundation. That's the family story. Then there's Jared. He applies to Harvard. His grades, according to the journalists who looked into it, were not Harvard grades. Not close. But his father donated $2.5 million to Harvard in 1998, the year before Jared got in. Jared graduated with honors. Good for Jared. He gets a law degree, an MBA. He's working in the family business, buying buildings, making deals, living the life that was built for him before he was old enough to drive. You gotta love some good old nepotism. And then the defining moment of his entire existence happens. Not a business deal, not a Harvard thesis, not a negotiation. His father gets arrested.
You know, and all we can do is pray for her. But still, this is real shit. It's interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon is what it is. That's a damn phenomenon.
Charles Kushner, the man who built everything, got into a dispute with his brother-in-law Murray over the family business. Normal enough. Families fight all the time. You see, Charles found out that his sister and brother-in-law was cooperating with a federal investigation into the family company. So Charles did what any reasonable person would do. He hired a prostitute to seduce his sister's husband, had the encounter filmed, and then mailed the tape to her to scare her into silence. Charles pled guilty to 18 felonies, tax fraud, illegal campaign contributions, and witness tampering. He served time in prison. Jared took over the company in 2005 after his father was convicted. He was 24 years old. The prosecutor who put him away, Chris Christie, then U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, future governor, future man standing awkwardly behind Trump at rallies, and the present-day enemy of the Kushners. Let's see how this plays out. After Trump became president, he named both Kushner and Ivanka Trump as unpaid advisors. In May of that year, Trump asked Chris Christie to lead the transition team. That move did not sit well with Kushner, according to Christie's 2019 book, because of course he has a book about this. Kushner urged Trump to hold off asking Christie to take over the transition, telling his father-in-law in front of Christie, "I don't trust him to have this, and you know why I don't trust him to have it." Trump went ahead with the selection, but after Trump won the election, according to Christie, Kushner had him dismissed. Revenge for Jared and his daddy! And this, my friends, is where he reaches his prime. If there's one thing Jared Kushner has mastered, it isn't diplomacy, it isn't real estate, it isn't even politics, it's access. Some people collect baseball cards. Jared Kushner collects the phone numbers of kings, crown princes, billionaires, and their daughters. He had become one of the most powerful, unelected people in Washington. No diplomatic experience, no foreign policy background, no military service, and yet somehow his job description became everything. Middle East peace? Jared, China? Jared, Mexico? Jared, criminal justice reform? Jared, trade? Jared, COVID response? Somehow, Jared again. To be honest, it's impressive. If NASA had called asking for help getting to Mars, there was probably a briefing on Jared's calendar.
Now to politics and the big changes in effect tonight at the White House when it comes to security clearances. Well, some of the president's closest advisors, including his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, have their access blocked to key top-secret documents.
Tonight at the White House, a new standard for who gets access to the nation's most closely guarded secrets. No more access to documents classified as top secret unless you've passed a background check.
Attention everyone, can we get a security clearance check on Jared Kushner? Thank you. Carry on. Trying to stop Prime Kushner is like trying to stop Shaq in the Post. It ain't happening.
The president's son-in-law and senior advisor, Jared Kushner, finally has official permission to review top secret material. The White House says that Kushner has received a permanent security clearance. His temporary access to top secret information, as you know, was blocked by Chief of Staff John Kelly back in February.
During Trump's first term, Kushner became best buds with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or as we like to call him, MBS. The two developed one of the closest relationships between an American presidential advisor and a foreign leader. Why does this matter? Nothing wrong with a little bromance, right? Within months of leaving government, Kushner launched a private equity firm called Affinity Partners. Not long afterwards, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund committed $2 billion. Here's where it gets interesting. According to multiple reports, the fund's own advisory panel expressed reservations. They questioned the firm's limited track record, the proposed management fees, and the overall investment risk. Despite those concerns, the investment was ultimately approved by MBS himself. It's beautiful, isn't it? Nothing to see here, completely above board. Affinity Partners now manages approximately $6 billion in assets, with 99% of its funding derived from foreign nationals: Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar. At this point, the Middle East has become less of a region and more of Jared Kushner's networking event. Jared Kushner left the White House and somehow kept a VIP badge to half the royal palaces in the Persian Gulf. And when Trump returned to office and the war conflict popped off, guess who was there to negotiate peace deals? But the real estate developer came back out. Because no matter how many years Jared Kushner spent talking about geopolitics, diplomacy, and peace agreements at heart, he's still a guy who looks at land and starts calculating the square footage. In 2024, during an interview at Harvard, Kushner described Gaza's waterfront as very valuable. Of all the ways to describe one of the world's worst humanitarian disasters, he sounded like he was pitching beachfront condos. Well, because he was, he basically predicted the Palestine coast being flattened and emptied out just for him to seize his opportunity. If there's money to be made in the Middle East, Kushner is there. But now Kushner has eyes elsewhere, and this time it's sparking outright protest. Albania. Jared Kushner's private equity firm is behind a $1.4 billion luxury resort project on Sazan Island, a protected natural area on Albania's southern coast. A protected area, national park status, one of the last undeveloped islands in the Mediterranean. The island's purchase was preliminarily approved in January 2025, about 2 months after Donald Trump was elected for a second term, and days before he was inaugurated. 2 months after the election, days before the inauguration. The Albanian government decided, right at that moment, that actually this protected island should be sold to the president's son-in-law for a luxury resort. What a coincidence. The project was awarded strategic investor status by the Albanian government, allowing for expedited permits and incentives. Strategic investor status, fast-tracked in a protected national park for Jared Kushner, right after his father-in-law won the presidency. And the Albanian people found out. In late May 2026, protesters took to the streets. During a peaceful protest against the resort, private security forces violently dragged away and put a gun to the head of a citizen, threw stones and pepper sprayed while state police stood there and watched. A citizen had a gun put to their head, protesting a Jared Kushner resort. Some people kick doors down, others wait until they're already open. Jared Kushner likes the second strategy. He's the edge of global politics. Wait, watch, then cash in when the timing is perfect.